So I'm watching this video from CrapGamer's channel, CrapgamerReviews, I think it is. And I don't watch that many Xbox channels. I just barely got mine, so I don't know very much about these guys. But on this particular day, I watched this video that he put out, and I thought he brought up some pretty interesting points. Now, unfortunately, I don't have the ability to put links down, or I don't know how to do it, so I can't put a link down to CrapGamer's video. So I'm just going to be talking about and giving my impressions to the things that he was discussing. And it basically brought up the point that there's been a lot of Microsoft executives, high-level Microsoft executives, praising other console manufacturers' games. Now, I don't have a dog in Microsoft's fight, so to speak. I'm not really into the console wars so much, even though I think they're important, and that's actually a video that needs to be made here, not before too long. But I can understand somebody who's a true believer, like I'm a true believer in Sony. I got the Xbox One X because they had the better box than the Sony Pro. Eventually I got the Sony Pro, and I love it. I absolutely love it with my ps4 Pro. But that's neither here nor there. Fact of the matter is, I'm not that diehard when it comes to Microsoft. But I want to concede that there was a fair point made, and that is that if you've got this amazing console, the most powerful console on the face of the planet right now, I mean, that's just a fact. And I know it's kind of silly because it's a little $500 machine, and there's PCs out there that could run circles around it. But my point being is that you've got this amazing console, and where are the exclusives? As far as I'm concerned, I care about Sony exclusives, and I do like third-party games, and that's what my Microsoft Xbox One X is good for, is a third party. But wouldn't it be neat if there were more options as far as exclusives? What if Sony, or what if Microsoft, I'm sorry, what if Xbox could bring something to the table that Sony hasn't? And that's worth pondering. So I guess it's, how do you take the fact that these Microsoft execs are basically saying how good other console manufacturers' games are, but aren't producing any of their own? Is that insulting? For me, I'm going to say initially yes. But I also have to think, what if they're testing the waters? I'm going to backtrack a little bit here and talk about something that Phil Spencer said that kind of got him in a little bit of hot water. Not necessarily hot water, but it made people wonder about what Microsoft's focus was going to be in their future, and what they planned on delivering in way of a platform. Because here you are paying a considerable amount of money for a console, whether you pay $300, $400, or $500 for it. That's still a good chunk of change for something that's not going to do something you thought it would. So he said that, just quite bluntly, that they weren't necessarily a big believer in, and I know he's backtracked and he's really gotten behind single player, but he wasn't necessarily a big believer in single players as far as a money-making model, and that they're hard to make, and that Sony's gotten really good at making them, and kudos to them for doing that. So from a strategic standpoint, from the standpoint of a businessman and a competitor, when I look at those statements from Phil Spencer, which I absolutely love, by the way, I think he's a great leader, but he made these statements. What I think he's saying is, A, we're not interested in making single-player games because we don't understand the financial upside to them, which there is, by the way. And B, we don't know how to do it. Not only are we not very good at it, we don't know how to do it. And that's a terrible thing to admit in the console wars, if I may bring that term up. So when you have these execs praising all these games, and just like human beings, just saying, hey, we love Breath of the Wild, we love God of War, we love these single player Horizon Zero Dawn, we love these single player experiences that Sony's bringing to the table. One way you could say that, hey, this is a slap in the face and this is abandonment by your leaders. You've got troops being abandoned in the field of battle here, your consumers that are hoping that you'll come through for them. Or you could see it as them testing the waters. Because when you have these Call of Duties, when you have these communities crop up around the Xbox platform, for the Maddox or Don Maddox era of Microsoft execs, I can see how they lazily assume that their first-party games are being made by third-party developers. Their Call of Duties, their Battlefields, their Fortnites, their what is that? There's all these. There's one that's really popular by Blizzard. I forget what it's called, but everybody's playing it with the cell shading. Anyways, not my cup of tea. But needless to say, these battle royale games, these MOBA games, are really doing well, and they're providing recurring revenue streams for the people that are putting them out there, and they're selling a lot of copies, which is good, and it creates a strong user base to a certain extent. And I'm now reminded of something that the executive of Patreon put out some time ago about there being a difference between the type of content most people will consume versus the kind of content most people will pay for. And maybe that is the intuitive analogy that needs to be put up here. So, having said that, if it is true that Microsoft execs are testing the waters to see what they can attract, then I think the message that most of us want to send them, if you have any inclination towards a single player narrative driven game, is that yes, these are great games and we want them on Xbox. I can tell you right now, those are the type of games I want on Xbox. These are the types of games I'm playing on Sony. It come to fall, I'm going to also pick up Tomb Raider, Shadow of the Tomb Raider, and I'm going to pick up Red Dead Redemption. These are games that I'm picking up absolutely on the Xbox One X. If Ace Combat 7 comes out, I may very well pick that up as well. I'm not entirely sure though. From what I've seen, there's certain things I don't like. I don't like the cockpits. They're up too tight on them, and they don't have the little mirrors like the jet fighters do in real life, which some jet fighter sims have, and they work amazing because that way you can see behind you. Because unless you're playing in virtual reality, it's really hard to tell who's behind you in a dogfight. So yes, I'm going to be picking games up for the Xbox One X, and that's great. And as long as they're third party, that's the console I want to buy them for. But as far as getting my fix on first party exclusives, story driven single player games, Sony's got me covered. Being an ecologist, I'm not an ecologist, I'm saying that in the sense that in the existential sense that all of us should be ecologists, no matter what we're doing, no matter what area we're talking about. But from an ecological standpoint, competition is always better. So no, we don't want Microsoft to go away. We want them to improve their product, and we want to be supportive, because that's going to make for the best gaming possible. So having said that, hopefully Microsoft will understand that they made a strategic mistake, a huge strategic mistake, and that is they abandoned the single-player, story-driven creation game pipeline. You shouldn't do that, because now you have to reboot, and that's where Microsoft is finding themselves. Fortunately for them, they have the ability to put out the fastest hardware at a fair price, and they have the ability to acquire studios. They let a lot of studios either die or they pulled the plug on them. I know one studio that was loyal to them was Crytek, and they should have actually bought them outright, bought their engine, bought everything about them, because they really focused a lot of their resources on that launch title with the Rome, was it Rome, Son of Rome, Rise, Son of Rome. And I really think that they didn't get the best deal out there. So, and I know there's other games too, that the Dragon game, I forget what game that is. I'm so sorry guys, I am not traditionally an Xbox gamer. And there have been several other games that have been canceled by Microsoft. So the thing is to go back to the drawing board, get you some Mark Cernys, get you some passionate visionaries, and put them to work to design an agenda so you can bring forth the next generation of Xbox game and do it in style, do it with class, and just blows away. I think there is that great American story. There is that great American storyteller. We have the Spielbergs, the George Lucases, the Stanley Kubricks. I hope Stanley Kubrick is American. I just said he was. Maybe he's Canadian. I don't know. But these great storytellers in America, I think we can bring them to the forefront with the finest technology and some of the most passionate gaming fans out there. I believe in it. I believe that, I'm not necessarily, America only kind of guy. I am a United States Marine Corps veteran, and I do believe in my country first, but I also think that we're part of a greater world. But it's not a bad thing to say, hey, you know what? This is what we can do. And maybe build a global community around it. There's no reason in the world why we can't bring in talent from other places in the world. Anyways, guys, those are my thoughts on Crap Gamer's video. You guys check out his channel. Like I said, there's a lot of new channels out there right now I'm having to check out because I'm barely getting into the whole Xbox thing. I'm not too big to the drama or the console wars, so to speak, even though I think there's a place for them. But from time to time, I find topics that are very worthwhile of a conversation. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Please rate, comment, and subscribe. If you guys want to watch this channel grow, please press that like button. I don't like telling people about the notification thing. I think, if you subscribe to somebody's channel, that should be your notification right there. But, if that's going to help, hit the notification bell. I don't put out that much content, so maybe that'll help you guys find out when I'm actually going to be uploading video. Anyway, guys, I'll talk to you later, and I've got a couple more videos hopefully I can get out today. All right, take care. Bye-bye.